I'm so confused. Oh, this is horrible and I hate it. Adventure time. Come on, grab your friends. Ooh, Studebaker. What are you guys doing? Stay. Thanksgiving sandwich. Ooh, ramp. Tiny boat. Duster. More on that later. There's a river over there somewhere. This is a way longer walk than I thought it was. Oh, I need to exercise more. Well, hello there. Dentist store nails. Well, that's just too fancy. Oh yeah. Yep, it's a 4-liter. Oh yeah, delightful noises. Oh, it really wants to go that way for some reason. Well, it made it 3 blocks, that's the good news. Alright, that could be related. Alright. Old man Emu. Wow! Hi, I'm Jamie. This is Dead Dodge Garage, and this is a Cherokee XJ Sport. Horrible knocking noises included free of charge. How dare you point at things in the camera? You're just trying to be Vice Grip Garage. Alright, funny story. I found this Jeep. A neighbor had it, told me about it. Naturally, I was excited. I went and looked at it and agreed to pay for it without ever noticing this. I thought it was really nice, but not so much. Well, you know what that means. Time to head for the woods. Man, this is not what I had in mind. This is a Jeep Cherokee. XJ being the chassis code. It's basically just a big 4-wheel drive rectangle, which is awesome. These things are fantastic. In fact, Uncle Tony recently said that they were mankind's crowning achievement, and I'm inclined to agree. My friend Connor has one of these with essentially no interior, no dashboard at all. It's slightly been on fire, but it's got a lift kit and big tires, and it is outstanding off-road. My wife and I have been looking for one of these that was attainable for years. We've always wanted one. So imagine my surprise and delight when my neighbor said he was going to sell this unit. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the charger, and hopefully it does something, but we'll see. This side of it was parked against a fence. Yeah, I guess I should have looked. Oh well, anyway. I'm not big on stickers, but I kind of like this one. Yeah, if I'd read where it says Ohio, I would have known better. This is the 4-liter inline 6. It's a great engine, except when it isn't. I've heard many stories of the 4.0's legendary reliability and its extremely long lifespan. And I think those stories are total BS because everyone I've ever seen had problems. I've seen ruined cylinder heads, pistons with holes in them. I've heard horrible knocking noises, like this one of course. I once owned a Grand Cherokee, you know, the curvier one, with a 4-liter that had been replaced 3 times. The 4-liter, found in the Jeeps, is actually a smaller displacement version of AMC's old inline 6. The 258 was the last version to wear a carburetor. This engine is one of few things of value that Chrysler got in the deal when they bought Jeep in the late 80s. When they bought AMC. The things they got in the deal when they bought AMC. Jeep, the 4-liter inline 6, and deleting AMC from existence. Okay. Pay attention to that. That might be important. Smells like blown head gasket. As discussed in Uncle Tony's videos on these things, horrible engine noises are not at all uncommon. In fact, it seems to be a feature of every budget XJ you see for sale. Now, there are a couple possible culprits here. I think I know which one this is, but let's find out for sure. Oh wow, it's already got a glass pack. You may have noticed this different color driver's door. That's a very common feature of these things, as they tend to crack around the latch there. The Grand Cherokees actually do that too. I think I've owned 6 Grand Cherokees, or is it 7? And at least half of them had different color driver's doors. You know, I was wondering what was hanging down here. Just the insulation, you know, under the carpet, hanging through the floor. I really made a great purchase here, that's for sure. I do like the many handfuls of mud packed into this thing. It has clearly done Jeep things. Needs all of the sway bar hardware, for starters. And just like every 2nd gen Ram, and, well, 3rd gen heavy duty Rams, it needs axle shaft joints. Of course it does. Oh, good Lord, that one's somehow worse. Oh. Oh. And that's a frame rail. I actually need that. You know, I'm not excited anymore. I'm just gonna stop looking at things. This sucks. Oh, what's a little oil leak among friends? So the thing about torque converter bolts is they should be tight. A local mechanic, who I know well, quoted a lot of money to try and fix this, saying the transmission would probably have to be replaced for some reason. But then also told the owner, hey, maybe it's just these bolts and you can go tighten them at home. Yeah, he wasn't willing to do that. So now it's mine. I actually thought I might find a cracked flex plate in here. I guess I'm happy again, despite all the rust. Ah, the tiny Dana axle. I'd like to rip this out of here, but it might be nice to have some mud protection. I mentioned all those Grand Cherokees we had in years past. My wife daily drove a 95 V8 Grand Cherokee for many years. It was a great Jeep, kind of. It was free, but required quite a bit of work to bring it up to snuff, including all the ball joints, bearings, all the suspension arms, shocks, the list goes on. The Grand Cherokee has CV joints here instead of the regular U joints. Yeah, those were bad too. I think I might really want to fix this. I like this thing, but that can be a future Jamie problem. For one thing, we should probably find out what it actually drives like. Speaking of which, that tire is low, but also the caliper's dragging pretty hard, so that could be a contributing factor. This tire is so low, it's not even on the scale. Fixed forever. I was gonna remove these ladies, but they're really well glued on, so I guess they stay. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, I can't leave this stuff. I just hate it. I've never been much of a sticker guy, but we've got all this real estate. We gotta at least fly the colors. And honorable mention of these guys. Oh, that seems fine, basically. The driver's seat moves around, but only because there's no metal for the bolt to go in now. Is the power unlimited? Yes, it is. Knowing what I know about Jeeps, this all seems very right. Okay. This thing's full of cool sounds. No washer fluid, turns out. So yeah, I'm blind. Hey, it goes straight now, so that's cool. It's only a little vibrating and horrible too. I like it. I can't play music and shoot video at the same time, but this stereo is actually really good. Except that the front left speaker doesn't work. Battery's dead. Shocking. Luckily, I do come prepared. Oh no! The more I look, the worse this gets. Yay. Few of life's problems can't be fixed with the cheapest battery anywhere nearby. I spent 10 entire dollars trying to fix the key fob. Didn't work. What a bummer. The Jeep's pretty good, but here's a real off-roader. Oh, I might need those. Oh no! They're full of water. Oh, it's pretty much restored now. Well, it's meant, and I invested in a battery, so I decided to actually transfer the title and get license plates. Licensing's closed because it's Black Friday or whatever. Pretty good vibration from the rear end. Maybe I should see if there's any There goes my old Ram. Well, this is interesting. It's all surgy sometimes. You know, I went to the store, but I didn't buy a front left caliper because it wasn't hot. It seemed like it had freed up. Now I'm not so sure. This is kind of awful, actually. Everything's fine. Everything might not be fine. So why didn't I buy that caliper again? This may come as a shock, but this brake smells bad. Phone died for a minute there, as is traditional. But anyway, getting into this thing. It's actually coming apart more easily than anticipated. Of course, I shouldn't say things like that. Off to buy more parts. Now, I could be wrong, but I think this axle shaft joint might have been bad for a while. There's no bearing left. Classic blunder. The new U-joints are still in the Jeep, and it's up on the lift. I did go buy brake things, so that's cool. I would have bought a rotor, but it was like $43, and nah, I think that one's gonna be fine. It's only like slightly warped. Anyway, it's late now, so we'll get back to this tomorrow. It's the next day, and I got smart and set this thing up with the proper tool. Yay! This is your universal joint on drugs. Axle shaft number 1, fixed. Funny story, there's supposed to be a cotter pin in there and probably a little castle cap thingy. There wasn't when I got to it, but I think the last person that removed it just like ground the pin off flush by removing the nut, because there's different colored material in there like sticking out of that hole. Hopefully it's fine. These are really supposed to have some kind of safety, some retainer, because if this hub comes apart, you know, if that nut comes loose, in theory your wheel could fall off. In practice, the brake caliper usually keeps that from happening, but still, not good. Dude, what am I even supposed to do with these? Apparently some stuff happened on this side. No brake shield. One pad was the wrong side, so the caliper didn't want to come out. But that's fine because one of the caliper bolts is broken, so we might need that feature. Hub bolts on this side were insanely tight, but still nothing broke somehow. Ow! Yay! What is this bolt made out of? Well, this is fun. I should be able to get it out of there, but it has other thoughts. All right, all you Midwest guys, go ahead and point and laugh. Woo! Well, I almost can't believe that worked, but I ground the tap down, started again, and here we are. As you can see, it's not really a perfect fit. Well, it's pretty much fixed forever. Basically, everything's going perfect. Now, I've said this before, but a big part of being successful with this sort of thing is knowing what you can get away with. And I'm pretty sure I just got away with some stuff. Don't worry about that. I think this thing's gonna need outers. That's not looking too hot, but it'll work for now. Gravity bleeding. It works, usually. Pedal is okay, but kind of soft. If I pump it twice, it's firmer. Now listen. That's the brakes in the rear returning, which tells me that the self-adjusters are probably rusted solid and probably have been for quite some time. In case you've ever wondered what the correct technique to torque a CV or axle shaft nut like this might be, this. Shove a screwdriver in the vented rotor through your caliper, and that will lock it right in place. If you don't have a vented rotor, like this is on the rear or something, maybe set the parking brake or make someone sit in the car and stand on the brakes really hard. Okay, now this axle shaft nut gets torqued to spec, which I think is 185, but I didn't actually bother looking it up. I'm just remembering that from the last Jeep I did. I hope you're all emotionally prepared for me to immediately regret not replacing these rotors. But it was another $80 I didn't feel like spending. Well, I topped up various fluids, like every fluid. Except the steering, that's fine. Oh good. It's possessed. Wow, the brake light's off. Yep, there it brakes. We'll have to go significantly faster to see if the rotor's horribly warped, which it probably is, but it's stopping straight, so that's nice. Under acceleration, there's still a pretty good vibration from the rear drive shaft, so that's not ideal. But otherwise, it's pretty good. Smooth, goes straight, handles nice enough. Although I do happen to know it needs every single piece of sway bar hardware really badly. Wheelers don't need sway bars anyway, right? Well, I think I like it, and my total investment thus far is still quite reasonable. So pretty. I definitely need to do something about the driver's seat trying to rip all the way out of the floor. That is inconvenient. You know, I haven't even released a video on this thing yet. Just posted about it on Instagram. And already people have accused me of knocking off Uncle Tony simply by buying one. It's not my fault. These are the greatest vehicles ever engineered. Yay, more parts. Yep, it's a tugboat. Quality units. Fun stuff. Pro tip, keep that out of your prop.
You see where I tried cutting it right there?
Yep, it's restored. A couple weeks ago, somebody drove a truck into the river right here. Apparently it's still down there. Good Lord, nothing but reliable. It's a self-fixing Jeep. I don't wanna. This is not ideal. Anyway, Jeep. That door's stuck now. Great. The hatch wouldn't open, but that's just because the lock actuator's bad. Of course, the support struts are bad too. This is really not great. I mean, unsafe, obviously, but mostly just uncomfortable. Yeah, this will be fun to fix. Can't wait. Man, that thing looks cool. Should be working on it right now, but no. Ooh, look! Wheels and giant tires that probably won't fit. Hashtag no lift. So funny story. I got these wheels and tires with the Jeep. He told me they had been on the Jeep, but today he corrected the record. They were on a Jeep, but not this Jeep. I'm not so sure they'll fit with the hashtag no lift. I'm willing to find out. If they don't, I'm pretty sure that's the same bolt pattern as my Volare. Maybe this will solve my off-road Volare problems. I did mention to the seller all the horrible rust that I hadn't noticed and the other problems I'd found. He definitely wasn't trying to like pull one over on me. He kind of thought I was going to use this Jeep for parts. Has anyone else noticed how sketchy this lift looks sometimes? Anyway, vibration located. There's not a lot of play in the joint, but there's a little bit. It's like it's not centered right in there, which is interesting. Children! Oh no. I found the thing I didn't want to find, which is a rusty brake line that's leaking. Well, I'm not feeling confident here. That's not quiet. Hey, why does that look like it's gonna rub everywhere? Oh, it's horrible. I have to say, the 31s fit the Charger pretty well. It's even inside the body, almost. Be a lot cooler if that was actually still in the wheel. I set the driver wheel in place and it sticks out a lot. But I forgot about track bar. It pulls the axle over when you droop the suspension. Yeah, it's inside the flare, officer. Don't know what you mean. Oh yeah. It's beautiful. Don't do this. Don't put big tires on your stock Jeep for no reason. With the wrong rims, the wrong offset. It'll make it even more gutless, louder. It'll mess up your speedometer, ruin your fuel economy, but it will look awesome. Here's my genius plan. I'm gonna do the rear U-joints, and then I'm gonna drive it. And if it's horrible, I'll take them back off. And if it's not horrible, I'll start cutting. Oh, they rub bad. Rubbin's racing, right? The neighbor's dogs did not appreciate that. Huh. I only ended up doing the one joint. The vibration is better, but it's still kind of noticeable. The other one was almost new, and it said heavy duty on it. This noise is the worst, and I hate it. Time to gut the interior. Yeah, the vibration's about the same. Funny enough, last night, being Sunday, was my weekly live stream. Uncle Tony happened to hop into that live. We talked to XJs briefly, and he said rear driveline vibration, probably the tail housing bushing in the transfer case. He said that's very common with a small lift and no pinion angle correction. This doesn't have a small lift, so I feel like it should be fine, but maybe that's my issue. It drives great. It might drive better. I don't think I could see it the other way again. So anyway, I started cutting. Melting, actually. Works pretty well. All right, fire was fun, but there are plenty of other options. Huh. Extra pieces included for free. Flawless technique. Melt a hole in your plastics in the wheel well with the oversized tires, and then use zip ties through that hole to make clearance. Nice. Man, I'm good at stuff. Just don't look any more closely than this. So fixed. Just a tiny rub on the plastic shield on the left, which I'm not concerned with, really. Okay, the right might hit too, but that's fine. It's only at extreme left turns. All right, Pavement Princess is full of groceries. Well, it's another beautiful day. I think it's time for the ultimate test for the Cherokee. Can it drive to Olympia? Let's find out. Neighbor must be burning some cedar in his wood stove this morning. Smells amazing. I decided to go ahead and replace the blower motor resistor. Easier said than done. There's a giant cover here right in the way. Ooh, I found secret snacks. Yay. Hot smells. Now I just have to mount the new one in the box. I don't understand what could possibly be wrong with this one. That's quite the mess for a tiny 2-screw part. I just remembered why I don't like modern vehicles. Modern, of course, starting in like the 80s. Oh, there are all kinds of great snacks in here. Ugh. Come on. Don't forget your bulb grease. You gotta have your dielectric grease to install a light bulb. You can't do it without it. So make sure you give us $2 for this disposable package. Then try and save it in your glove box and ruin everything you own. Man, I almost can't believe this, but the rear defrost doesn't work. Hey, it's legal now. Yay. First time above 40 miles an hour. It's not too bad. And strangely, the speedometer's pretty close. Cruise control doesn't work. All right, I'm ready to scrap it. Hey, look, we made it. So basically, it's a 100% reliable daily driver. Personally, I think it's time for a Jeep adventure, but first, we have to do something actually productive and break in our Daytona motor. This might be the best one we've ever done so far. We're doing important work today. Gotta hang this gigantic neon sign. That'll be fun. Maybe then we'll do some Jeeping. It's so beautiful.
It's all neon all the time.
Ah. Why is this guy always parking in the road? Jeeps are small, that's the good news. Look how low this sits compared to a modern 1-ton truck. Anyway, modern diesel exhaust smells horrible. I think it's time for some line off-roading. Now it would be really easy to go rip around in the field. That wouldn't even be challenging for the Jeep. No, I have something else in mind. It goes a little faster than the Power Wagon. Just a little. Pretty good though, I can walk with it. I just remembered how ruddy it is out here. Now I'm definitely gonna fall out. Anyway, onward. Sure, we'll get there eventually. Oh no, it's trying to veer into a fence. I just saw a flock of horses. That was cool. It just looks so at home out here. It's even the right color. I had it in 4-low for science reasons, but I don't need 4-wheel drive out here at all. It just goes. It's awesome. My tools are making a hell of a racket. Oh, my box is open. Don't scare him now. Here on the edge of Rocket Tom's property, there's a hill. We're not going up the hill. It's someone else's yard. But over here toward the other end, there's a well-wooded area. And back behind that wooded area is an open area that I can see from the road. I'd like to figure out how to get there. Now, I almost stabbed in here in the Wagoneer one day, but you know, that thing's actually kind of nice. So I'd hate to break it or scratch the paint. Gasp. Oh wow, there's more hill there. This looks promising. Oh yeah. You know, really, I'm doing him a favor, trimming up the blackberries. Oh yeah, buddy. Jeeps. Oh, I forgot to pull the hitch. That has bitten me before. Yeah, there you go. There's kind of a tree in the way though. I'd like to go that way. Man, I love Jeeps. Rather inconveniently, someone knocked a tree over right in front of what would be a perfectly good jeeping trail. And I don't have my chainsaw. Oh no! That was the good side, except for all the holes. Since we basically live in the woods here in Western Washington, this is what most of my off-roading experiences have looked like. A Jeep or a Dodge truck or whatever. Punching through small holes between trees. That's my favorite. Now, truth be told, I haven't gotten very far. In fact, I've still got Wi-Fi from the shop. There's a really good deer track up this way, but it definitely leads to someone else's yard, so I won't be going that way. If you know me, you probably know I love Dodge trucks. I really do. And I enjoy off-roading those, especially for their crawling capabilities. But I can tell you with certainty, you'd never get a full-size turned around where I just turn that Jeep around. It's just amazing. Oh yeah, buddy. Whee! Nice. What a tank. I was trying to hook this tree and drag it out of the way, but I hooked it and pulled it the other way and broke it in two. So mission failed successfully, I guess. Don't try this at home. Or do, I guess. Making Tom this awesome wheeling trail. You know, I bet he won't even say thank you. Now you gotta watch out for stuff like this flying in your window. Easy. This is very pretty. Apparently an S10 fell down here last winter or something. I could actually get back to the road. Nice. So what do you say? Is it the new Bluesmobile or what? This would make an amazing hill climb if there wasn't a busy road right at the top of it. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I just drove across the property line to turn around. What do you guys know about flex or whatever? I'll tell you what I know. This Jeep doesn't have any. I'm having a really good time. Can you tell? I'd love to go up in there, but it's definitely across the property line. Now, it might look like I'm being kind of hard on this thing. Just the paint, really. Mechanically, I'm not beating on it. I'm taking it nice and easy. I do still have to drive home after all. Really glad I did all those U-joints. In conclusion, the Jeep Cherokee is like the best. And the XJ anyway. I just love it. It will go anywhere. Super reliable. They only sometimes make horrible knocking noises. This thing doesn't even drive all that bad. And the tires only rub all. Man, it's beautiful today. Almost as beautiful as my XJ Cherokee. Or whatever. I bought this extremely affordable, horribly knocky, seized brake, rusted to pieces Cherokee. I fixed it in very short order. I drove it, and it went on an adventure. And as long as it makes it home in one piece, I will deem this operation a success. I have to take Tom for a run through his new wheeling trail, and there's a new horrible knocking noise in the back of the Jeep. It's the crankshaft I put back there.
Well, it's not cracked, it's ringing.
Rings like a bell. Remember what I said about watching these things coming in your window. We're gonna go ahead and punch through the return road. Oh yeah, nothing to her. Woods, freeway, the XJ doesn't care. Although the power locks are just totally freaking out now. Oh look, Jeep friend. This one kind of looks like it skipped leg day. Jealous.
I'm gonna do kind of a weird thing with the vocals.
Well, now I'm on some other crazy mission, and it involves a lot of red lights, which I hate. Oh yeah, so much constructioning. I still haven't fixed the right blinker either. Cornering machine. Nothing to see here, folks. Just another normal, beautiful day in Dead Dodge land. Also, it's almost rush hour still. Nothing to see here, everything is great. Wow, it's so pretty. Oh yeah, it's almost Christmas, and there's Christmas stuff happening everywhere. Also a broken Hyundai. Reindeer and stuff.
Mission successful.
Mission success! We did it! Hyundai is no longer on the side of I-5.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we all learned a valuable lesson. If you need a simple, reliable, sport utility vehicle, a big box on wheels or whatever, to move your family and your things around, and you like to do a little bit of light off-roading, you need something that can do that too. Maybe you want to put a tent on the roof, I don't know. Tow a tiny trailer? Tow Hyundais off the side of the highway in the middle of the night? If you want to do any and all of those things, you probably want an XJ Cherokee. They're kind of desirable and expensive now. Hopefully if you do want one, you can get lucky like me and your neighbor will have a broken one that takes 10 minutes to fix. Well, and then like 3 more days, but whatever. Oh, also it's foggy and horrible, so that's great. Train! What an absolute unit. I threw it on the highway. I did 150 miles. It consumed a reasonable amount of gas. It went off-roading, climbed over some things, dragged a tree out of the way, and then towed a Hyundai off the side of the highway. What more could you want in a vehicle, really? Hey, I hope you enjoyed this. I certainly did. In any case, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate that. And remember, if everything seems to be going well, you have clearly overlooked something. Why is the ground crunchy? I aired up the tires, which I should have done yesterday, probably. Hey, give me a week and this thing will be fully restored. Or blown up, I guess.